In this video, I'm going to show you how to separate fixed versus variable costs. First, there's 4 different techniques for separating fixed versus variable costs, using the account description, the high-low method, graphing, and regression analysis. We'll do some examples of those in the videos, and also refer to the PowerPoints I have on the Blackboard site. So the first one, let's do an example. So fixed costs. Remember, if we graph, we use the x-axis and the y-axis, right? Y to the sky is used for dollar, x is used for volume. Fixed costs in total don't change. They stay the same. Remember that? And then per unit, however, if we graph that, y to the sky and the volume on the x, per unit, the more units we manufacture, the less the cost per unit, fixed cost per unit, right? It declines because the numerator stays the same and the denominator changes. Unlike variable costs, y to the sky is the dollars and the volume's on the x. If we make no units, we have no variable costs, like direct materials. Remember that example? However, the more products we make, the more we use. So in total, variable costs change. Per unit, however, stays the same, right? Because the more within a relevant range. So if I use, say, mozzarella cheese in my pizza, the per unit cost is going to stay the same. Remember that, within a relevant range. So that was the counterintuitive part, the per unit costs, right? We know variable costs in total change and fixed costs in total stay the same. So let's look at an example. These examples are in the PowerPoint that I posted, so you can see all the solutions. But let's look at this. So if we had number of units here, and we had total costs, this is the base salary of a plant manager, we want to put cost per unit. Let's see how this behaves if we just graph this out. So let's say if we have increments of, we'll go up to 250. So the capacity is 300, but we'll do 0, 50, 100. So these are number of units we're making. 150. 200. Let's just go to 250 for some time's sake and space sake. Now, base salary, that person's going to make 120,000 whether I make 0 units or 250, right, within a range. So we'll just write that. Okay, so base salary, no matter what the plant is manufacturing, that person's going to make that salary. Now, let's see, cost per unit. We know we can't divide by 0, so of course that's NA. But if we take 120 and divide it by 50, that's 240 per unit. 120 divided by 100, $1.20 per unit. If we take 120 divided by 150, 80 cents. 120 divided by 200, 60 cents. And let's say 120 divided by 250 is 48 cents. Okay, so notice, what type of cost is this? Cost per unit is declining. Costs in total are staying the same. Right, so I'm sure you guys are thinking that's a fixed cost by definition. Okay, simple example, but I'll go through a few other ones on a few different videos so you can see them actually working the drills.